We're camping and fishing at Bearhead Lake State Park in Ely, Minnesota. Check it out. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Kemp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. Well, we're on stop number 6 in our 2022 Kemp family vacation and road trip. We are now at Bearhead Lake State Park near Ely, Minnesota. We're having a fantastic time. So guys, if you want to check out any of the other videos from this trip, we stopped at Cloudland Canyon State Park in Georgia on the way up. Then we hit some of the metro parks in Dayton, Ohio. That was stop 2. Then we did Tequamanon Falls in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, followed by Porcupine Mountains Wilderness State Park in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Then we went to Chattahoochee State Park in Minnesota, right on Lake Superior, where we did a tour of almost the entire north shore of Lake Superior, so check that out. And this is our 6th stop, which is Bearhead Lake. Ely, Minnesota is kind of the jumping off point to the Boundary Waters. We're not doing the Boundary Waters this trip, but we are hanging out in the state park, and I am on Norberg Lake, which is a stocked trout lake. It's stocked with rainbow trout and brook trout. So my son Delaney and I are down here casting some Mep spinners and some panther martins, just trying to see what we can catch. So far, no luck, but what a beautiful day. Although you want to make sure you bring thermocells and bug screen because the mosquitoes are fierce. We just had a little rain shower, but we're going to be out here fishing. Barb and Garrett and Barb's mom are out on a hiking trail walking the dogs, so we're just having a great time out here, and we're going to start some fishing, so check it out. Pretty place, huh? Well, guys, we haven't had any luck so far, but let me at least go over what I'm doing so that you can try this if you ever come to Bearhead Lake. So one of the things I like to do is I like to bring an ultralight fishing rod. I like to carry the Airstream, which is a Bass Pro brand ultralight fishing rod. Back when I bought them, they were labeled as Brownings, but Bass Pro now carries them. I'll put a link down in the description below. And I like to pair that with a 500 size spinning reel. This is a Sedona from Shimano that I've had for a long period of time. And so it's not the current model, but you can get a 500 size reel, and I'll put one down in the description as well. And I like to pair these together because they're really light, well balanced. And when you catch a small trout, like a brook trout or a rainbow trout, you really are able to fight the fish, and it feels really good. And these rods are also ultra sensitive. I have 4-pound mono on the reel, and I'm probably going to switch to braid, but I just had mono loaded up there. And then for this one, I have a Wardley's rooster tail tied on there. So this one is a chartreuse color with a gold spinner and a chartreuse feather. And I like to use those as trout bait. You can catch almost anything on a little rooster tail or a panther martin or a Mep spinner. There's a whole bunch of different brands that make a very similar bait, and I like to use those because they're a whole lot of fun. They're easy to tie on, they can catch practically anything, and they're relatively inexpensive. So you can get a bunch of them, 6 or 8, throw them in a small little tackle box, and then be able to change out colors if you want to, or that kind of thing. So really easy little thing to carry. I also built my own fishing rod travel tube because ultralights are very easy to break. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. I'm going to put a link right up here where you can check out how to build a travel tube out of PVC to protect your fishing rods while you're traveling. I'm going to get back to fishing a little bit, and then it'll be time to head back to camp. When you're coming places like this, it's always good to make sure that you have some kind of rain jacket, because invariably you get rain. So we always have our rain gear with us in case we need to throw it on. Now sometimes it's just too hot and I'd rather get rained on than put on a rain jacket, because if it's too hot you're going to sweat in here and then you're going to be wet with sweat instead of being wet with rain. So sometimes you're going to choose whether you want a rain jacket or you want to just get rained on. But today it's cool enough that it was worth it to me to put on a rain jacket to stay a little bit dry. I'm going to keep fishing for a little bit longer, but if it starts to rain anymore, as you can hear some thunder, we're going to hit the trail and head back to the van. Well guys, it started to rain a little bit harder, a little more thunder. We're gonna head back to camp. We're gonna rig up for some more fishing. Hopefully these storms will leave us alone and we can keep on enjoying Bearhead Lake State Park. Stay tuned. So a rainy morning has turned into a breezy, sunny, and quite warm afternoon. Delaney and I are hanging out by Bearhead Lake. We're doing some fishing, and it's kind of the wrong time of day to fish. We're having a good time wetting the line, looking to see if we can catch some bass or walleye or maybe a pike or something. But we're just having a great time by the lake. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see the lake and see where we're at. It is awesome. So here's a look at the area where we're fishing. Just a beautiful part of Bearhead Lake. There's Delaney there down by the shore. Depending on how things go tonight, I may walk down here after dinner and see if I can do some fishing later in the evening. Hopefully we'll get a little bit better of a bite. And tomorrow I'm going to try and go back to the trout lake. I found that I actually have some trout bait in my tackle box, so we're going to give that a go hopefully. Hopefully the weather holds out, and then who knows what tomorrow will bring. So stay tuned. It got too hot to do anything else, so we're going swimming. Oh, come here. Come here, Ellie. Good girl. Good girl.
The glasses are on Dad's tent.
It's Tiller's first time swimming. Good boy, Tills.
I threw a stick at him.
Did you?
Good boy.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl, Al.
I don't want to go at the same time.
It's weed free here too. Well, we've had a great first full day here at Bearhead Lake State Park just near Ely, Minnesota. We went swimming, we went fishing, we explored, we got rained on, all kinds of stuff. Now it's time to make dinner, and today's a special day because I'm shooting this video on Father's Day. So lucky me, I get to spend Father's Day with my two sons, my wife and my mother-in-law, and we're gonna have a steak dinner with corns, beans, and our camp potatoes. So I'm really excited about that. And guys, just because it's Father's Day, I just want to tell you, if you're thinking at all about adopting kids out of foster care, I highly recommend it. It'll be the greatest thing that you ever did. Sure is with me. I love my boys and I love taking them camping. So just wanted to put that plug in there in case you were thinking about it. Let's take a look at what we're making for dinner. We got Barb and Carolyn working on our camp potatoes. We're gonna get those up in the foil packs pretty soon and on the burners. We're gonna boil some corn on the cob, and then of course steaks on the grill and beans. With steak in the Camp Chef grill box, corn in a pot on the stove, 2 packs of foil potatoes, and beans on the fire burner. It's really good to have multiple camp stoves all hooked up to a single propane tank. I'm going to show you. There's my propane tank. It's got a 3-way valve, so I can run all 3 stoves on one tank. I'll put a link down in the description below where you can pick one of those up and run stoves just like I'm doing. So we're on our second full day here at Bearhead Lake State Park. We're having a blast, but today is super hot. It's a high of like 94, feels like temperature is 98 degrees. So we're just swimming in the lake, waiting for the sun to go down so it can cool off. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit cooler, and we're going to have a great time. Let me show you this awesome swim beach. With it so hot in our tent and in our campsite, this is a great way to beat the heat. The wind on this day was absolutely insane, and it was probably the only saving grace since the high was 98 degrees. We would go out into the water, get wet, and then come out and sit in our camp chairs and just air dry, and it wasn't that bad. We were able to beat the heat, but man, was it hot. Well, good morning, guys. This is the start of our third and final full day here at Bearhead Lake State Park. We had a little bit of excitement as a storm rolled through last night and really poured on us. Actually, some trees came down in the campground. We're okay. Our tents are okay. Everything's good. There is a camper with a tree leaning on it. I just walked to the restroom this morning and saw that camper, so hope they can get that tree off. Doesn't look like it did any damage, but hopefully the park staff can help the owner of the camper get the tree off the camper and not do any damage. But as you can see from this radar shot here, we had a pretty good rainstorm come through camp, but as I said, we're all good. The last 2 nights, Delaney and I have gone down to Bearhead Lake to do some fishing, and we've really enjoyed our time fishing. And so 2 nights ago, I caught this really awesome largemouth bass. You can check it out. And so that was a whole lot of fun. I caught it on a Texas rigged ribbon worm. So you know how to do that because I've made a video on that before. So if you haven't seen it, I'll put a link right up here, how to rig a Texas rig. You can check that out. And then last night, Delaney caught this northern pike. And this is a really big deal for Delaney because this is the first time Delaney has ever caught a fish using a lure when he's tied the lure on. Normally Dad ties the lures on for him, but I taught him how to tie the improved clinch knot. So if you don't know that knot, you can check it out right up here and I'll show you how to do that. But he tied his lure on and caught his first fish where he tied the lure on. So that's really, really exciting and I'm really proud of him. And what's also really cool is that the lure he used was once owned by a really good friend of mine who passed away many years ago now from cancer. His widow gave me all of his fishing gear, and so I have been using that and remembering my friend Dave. So it was really awesome that Delaney chose that lure to tie on and caught his first fish, which is really cool. So good job, Delaney, and hope you catch a whole lot more, bud. Your fishing is coming along strong. So what we're using, guys, is our Toadfish Outfitters travel rods. So if you're not familiar with Toadfish Outfitters, I'm going to put a link down in the description below, especially to their travel rods. They're a 3-piece travel rod, so they come apart in 3 sections. So they come apart here, and they come apart right here. So they come apart in 3 sections. And then what's really cool is you can choose the action and strength of the rod. So I've got this one set up as a 6'8" medium light fast action rod. So this is really awesome for throwing ribbon tail worms on a Texas rig or those kind of things. So they are really, really awesome. I really recommend them. If you haven't seen my Toadfish Outfitters travel rod review, I'm going to put a link to it right up here so you can check that out. So guys, it is time to make breakfast, and then we are going to head over to another state park that used to be an active mine. So we're going to check that out today, have a picnic lunch over there, so stay tuned for that. But before I do that, let me spin the camera around and give you a little tour of our campsite here at Bearhead Lake. So starting at the back of our campsite, we have our picnic table set out. We've got our fishing rods out. There's the Kodiak canvas tent. And then here, parked in, is the cargo camper. And it's plugged in with the Kemp bus in front of it. But I'll walk towards the Kodiak canvas. Guys, I love this Kodiak canvas tent. I can't recommend it enough. It is amazing. It withheld that storm, no problem. There's our fire pit, our dishwashing station, and our camp kitchen setup. So it is time to make scrambled eggs, hash browns, bacon, and I think I'll do cinnamon rolls today. Sounds good. Can't wait to eat it. About 30 minutes from Bearhead Lake State Park is the Soudan Mine State Park, which is the oldest and deepest iron ore mine in Minnesota. We're going to check it out. Site of the oldest and deepest iron ore mine in Minnesota, operated by the United States Steel Corporation until 1962, donated by the United States Steel Corporation to the state of Minnesota to be preserved and operated as a state park. Let's go check it out. We had a great time touring the Soudan underground mine. The bummer was we couldn't actually go underground. They do underground tours where you go down the mine shaft and tour the mine, but unfortunately there was some construction and some renovation going on, so we couldn't do the underground tour. But we were able to do an above ground tour, and our tour guide taught us all about how they extracted the iron ore. Unfortunately, all of my GoPro footage for this tour got corrupted, so you're going to have to settle for a few of these photos from our tour. But it was awesome. I highly recommend checking out Soudan Underground Mine State Park. After we were done at the park, we headed over to Vermilion State Park for lunch. We headed over to Lake Vermilion State Park. Actually, Lake Vermilion State Park and Soudan Underground Mine State Park have been combined into one state park, but they are separated geographically. You have to travel a few miles to get from Soudan Underground Mine to Lake Vermilion. So we headed over to Lake Vermilion, found this amazing picnic pavilion, and had a picnic lunch, and then hung out by the lake. Guys, this place is amazing. Lake Vermilion is a very, very large lake. This definitely has got to be a place that I come back to at some point in time. Maybe I'll bring pontoon fish all the way up from Florida to do some really, really awesome northern Minnesota fishing. Maybe smallmouth bass, maybe northern pike. Who knows, maybe there's even muskie in this lake. I know one thing, Tiller approves. Well, guys, I'm sitting by the fire, enjoying the last moments of our camping trip. Tomorrow we leave for our lake cabin in central Minnesota. I'm really looking forward to getting over to the lake cabin and chilling out for a couple days and doing some fishing. We had an amazing time here at Bearhead Lake State Park. We really enjoyed Lake Vermilion Soudan Mine State Park. That was really cool. Definitely encourage you to go see that if you're ever in the area. And Bearhead Lake has been fantastic. I really wish I had pontoon fish here, or at least our rowboat to go check out the water, but just hanging out and catching some fish on the shoreline has been a lot of fun for Delaney and I, and we've had a fun time swimming in the lake and all that stuff. But it's time to hit the road tomorrow, so we're going to get packed up, get out of here, and head to the cabin. We're there for a couple of days, and then it's time to make the trek back to Florida. So with that, I'm going to spend a few more minutes out here by the fire before I go to bed. Just want to thank you for watching, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell icon that notifies you when I release new videos, and hit that thumbs up button on this video. Guys, we're going to be producing a lot of campsite review videos for all the state parks that we visited this trip. This campground especially was very full the entire time we were here, so we did not shoot a lot of sites, but the sites that we did shoot will appear on our Campsites by Kemp Outside YouTube channel. And also, guys, we're going to be doing campground reviews from this campground as well as the other ones we visited, and I'm really looking forward to producing some shorts, some YouTube shorts that I'm going to be doing on Wednesdays called Waterfall Wednesdays. I shot a bunch of little 30-second waterfall videos and I'm going to put them on as shorts. So hopefully you guys will enjoy those and check out all the waterfalls we saw on this trip. It was a bunch. But guys, I'm going to sit back and enjoy the fire for a few more minutes, and it's time to hit the sack. Guys, thanks for watching. Kemp Outside exists to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. We want to help you get you and your kids outside. So if you have any questions about camping at Bearhead Lake, drop something in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Or if you've been here before, tell us about your adventures here at Bearhead Lake. You can also connect with us on our other social media at Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, or our website at kempoutside.com. Guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.